Hi everyone, welcome to the Jennifer Rose channel. I have two things going on right now. I have my Rose Intuitive Messages reminders for you in your everyday. We are doing self-love for February. And I woke up this morning and thought that this is another thing that I want to put on just YouTube. I have my Rose Intuitive Messages on all of my social media, but there's something special about YouTube because all of you, if you're on YouTube, are seeking something. You're trying to find something. It's not just connection or entertainment. This is what you are searching for. So as somebody that is still searching, I wanted to put this information just here. I'm going to call this the Rose Soul Journey. This is my personal take on having a spiritual journey and what it looks like to me. Now, all of the things I express are my own thoughts and my own feelings on it. I always say, whatever serves you, keep it, use it. And whatever I say doesn't resonate with you, then you toss it. This is for me to have a way to express myself and my own spiritual journey to all of you that are also on a spiritual journey, and at the same time respect people in their own journey. You put this out there and you right now are either choosing to listen to it, to click on buy it, or never even see it. And I want to honor that. And for those of you that stay, for however long you stay, I appreciate you. But I want you to know from my heart to yours, whatever comes from anything that you see from me, I don't take credit for anything. Because if I go left, if I go right, even if I hear, hey, there's a better restaurant on the right side, and I go right, it's still my choice. I take responsibility for every single thing that happens in my life. And when we are on a spiritual journey, it's going to test us in every single way. And that is what I wanted to start this particular series, if you want to call it, my video blog of what a spiritual journey looks like for any individual. Because some of us want to express ourselves in different ways. And this helps me do that. And why did I want to do this today? Why did I want to just start blogging to you about my personal journey? I have a lot of videos and information right here on YouTube or on my website, jenniferrose.biz, but this one is a little different. This one is, I think you should recognize when you achieve something that you didn't think that you could achieve. And I did that with my spiritual journey. I have a little sheet to kind of help you on what I'm talking about. And some of you may resonate with what I'm saying, and some of you may feel like a little bit lost. But sometimes when we just are listening to something, it may not make sense in this moment, but afterwards you're like, wow, you'll recall this video or something else and you're like, yeah, that makes sense to me. And what this is you see a trajectory when it comes to your spiritual journey. We have the starting point, right? We crack the door open to, like, who is our higher power? What is this divineness? What is this oneness that people talk about? What does it have anything to do with me? We're just asking questions because we are trying to seek that information. Maybe we grew up with one kind of religion and something made us question. I know that happened in my journey. I'm not going to go into detail. Anything, you can go on my website and check that out. This is just for the spiritual journey. but something spurred me to the point of questioning anything I've ever learned. And that set me on a path to try to understand more. I was on the journey, but I wasn't all in. I think that sometimes we want something and we're listening to it, but we're not really doing any actions that says we really are doing something, if that makes sense to you. Like, oh, I really want to spend more time with this person, but I'm not calling there. I'm not doing anything to further that progress. So it's something you may want, but your actions are really telling you differently. Well, 3 years ago, I had a spiritual experience. It spurred me on to ask questions about everything, my own existence, why I got saved. And what was interesting enough is that in order to even start, and that's why I'm making this video, in order to even start your spiritual journey, you have to heal. You have to heal. If you see this little bump over here, this is our lives as it is maybe for you right now. It's just a hill and you live on it. When we start our spiritual journey, we move on to the first mountain. Because I use this metaphor as mountains because somebody was talking about their mountain journey, and you have to go to one mountain and then climb that, and then to get to the next mountain, to get to the next mountain, to get to Everest. You can't just go to Everest. You have to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, personally, in order to achieve each mountain. If you look on my website, there's a mountain right there as you get onto my site, and that's how I look at it. And there's two people on that mountain. One is your divine source and one is you, because this spiritual journey sometimes is only seen between you and your higher power. There are things that you're doing behind the scenes that no one has any idea of what you're doing, because a lot of this is inner work, and that is the first mountain, is healing. Healing is, if you go on that spiritual journey, I'm in a car right now, that's kind of when I want to use it, and you have this windshield, right? If I put soap all over this window, can I drive my car? Can I even see truth? Can I even navigate to drive this car wherever? No, I can't. That's why the first mountain has to be heal. You have to heal. You have to start clearing out all that soap. And sometimes part of that window is so covered in gunk, it takes a lot longer to do that. And last week, the reason this is kind of all spurred on, and I'm glad all of you that are kind of keeping with me here, but I went to a retreat, and it was, the first day was so horrible for me. I just felt off. I felt like there was so much quiet time, and in my journey right now, I do this every day. I feel like I live in a sanctuary. Like, why am I here? Why did God put me here? And now I know. I was tested on every single level last week. I don't think there's a level that God didn't test me last week. I literally got lost. I had to sit with my offness and work it out. I was left alone so much that I had to do some serious introspection. And sometimes, yes, you might be doing this work somewhere else, but putting yourself in a new environment really kind of tests things for you. But last week, I had to face fears of abandonment, face fears of being lost, the known and unknown, the putting, like, a big fear of mine was, 3 years ago, having something just, you can't explain happened to you and it happening again, or my life before my spiritual and my psychosis, my total mental breakdown. My life was, you know, a lot of people hurting me in a lot of different ways, and kind of a fear of getting back out there and having people hurt you again, or them getting to know you and not liking you for some reason. And it's funny because when you're healing, you are working on all these things and you think, oh, you got it, but you don't, because that's why it keeps coming up in your life, is that if it's something still irritating you, if there's still bitterness, there's still anger in there, then it needs to be worked. And that is the one thing about the spiritual journey, that you cannot avoid anything. Nothing on the spiritual journey. You have to face every single thing that comes to you every single day. You cannot take a day off. You can't take years off and say, well, you know what? I've gone this far. I can't go anymore. Not on the spiritual journey. That you have to own your own sovereignty. You have to keep clearing out your front window. But I can tell you, if you stick with this, what I was able to accomplish last week was unbelievable. I did get lost, but I found my way home, and I know that I have help of a higher power with me. Someone that I love and respect so much. We have decided that we are not on the same trajectory, and we decided to part ways. It was such a surprising thing to me, but at the same time, when we are on the spiritual journey, we have to honor those that are going a different way than us. And that was like not abandonment of me. That was honoring herself and honoring me. And I was able to step back and look at the big picture. And I am trying to create a world that I live in with love, with compassion, with honesty. That is the world I'm creating. That is the world I want to live in. That is the spiritual journey that I want to go. If I cannot express something in love, then I need to figure out what's wrong, what's going on with me, so that way I can do it. Because this second mountain, this is what I was getting at, but like, so I just completed the healed mountain. Does that mean you're completely healed? No, because this next mountain, as you know, it's going to have its own hurdles, its own challenges. And I would call this mountain growth. Because once I have cleaned off my window, now I can see clearly, because last week, all those fears, I dialed into all of them head on first. I acknowledged them. I was truthful with myself. I was throwing out excuses, and I had to see all of it as is. What I was doing, my actions, my inactions, whatever it was, and get down to the nit and gritty. And with all that alone time in that retreat, which that retreat was amazing, you know, it led me to where I am today. So I was like, wow, I got to, this mountain is now accomplished. And that's what I felt after I got done with the retreat. Like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for next steps. I'm ready to make this video, like, moving forward with growth, putting past fears, and I faced them head on, and now I feel, and that is why the spiritual journey is so wonderful, because we get to do things that we never thought we could do, that we could let somebody go, that we could get lost and still find our way home, and we're okay. We can rely that this soul's journey is a one mission person, that I am going with love, that everyone, you and I, are all on our own mission to figure out what this life journey is all about inside of us. And it won't look like everybody else's movie, because we're the leading actress or actor on this movie. So that is where I'm going from, a place of love, that you don't have to be at the same place as mine. It doesn't even have to look the same. It's we're honoring each other and our own journey. Somebody might be in a church. Somebody might be out of a church. Somebody might be, going down a path that you think, whoa, what are they doing? Because their soul is telling them that's where they need to go. So you honor them. You don't have any right or wrong with anyone else's journey. It's up to them. And you think you have all the right answers. My question is for you, if you think you're always right, where do you have to go? The one thing that I learned, you have to see it, to believe it, to receive it. And if I have a closed fist, what can God give me? Can't give me anything. But last week, all those things that I had to face, the person that I had to lose, I had to be open to receive all of that, see it for what it is, see the things that I was holding back from, and I received it, and I took it, and I brought it to my heart with honesty and love, and I felt so accomplished that I wanted to do this video as a testimony that healing is tough. Facing all your truths, your untruths, at no matter what stage, it's such a personal accomplishment. And having, God cannot drive this car for me. He saved my physical life. But I had to save me. I had to keep making choices in my life to save me. Last week, I had to choose love instead of hate. I had to choose that I was in a situation I didn't totally understand, but I had to embrace it and figure out what it was that was bothering me. I couldn't ignore it. Before, I would use alcohol to down it, pot to get high, cigarettes to take a break, or drown myself in sweets. I couldn't do that. Being completely sober, which is amazing, but nothing is between me and my thoughts and me and my progress. And you can too. That's why I'm doing these videos, because I think we all need to see somebody else doing a spiritual journey, and it's not always going to make sense to everyone in our life. It might be a totally solo. Like, you might be going in a way that God's putting you, that it is more you're alone than with other people. And that might just be because that's your mission. And I have to be open to receive that. And I am. And I'm starting to discover more and more about me and, what that looks like. But I'm ready for the growth mountain. I'm ready to get this sucker. And if you'll notice, it's not like you have to climb. You already climbed this far. You're just peaking. This next one, you're going evolving. And this last one, if you're able to do that within your lifetime, this isn't about salvation when you die. This is about redemption as you live. I was saved to not have salvation. I lived to have redemption. God took away everything in my life, made me look at myself totally new 3 years ago. And he said, what are you going to do with it? When I gave it back to me. And last week, I got to witness it. I got to witness my strength, my work, and he got to witness it with me. Because you're not alone on the top of that mountain. Whoever you believe in is right there with you and is so happy for you. So choose which world you want to live in. Choose which world you want to promote. Go into the things that you're drawn into. It is not about anybody else being right or wrong. I have opinions, but even now I feel like those are sacred too. This is the place where I can express myself, and people can choose to stay and listen to my words. People can fly by, or they can take it and just completely forgot it after they listen to it. That is none of my business what happens on any of my social media. That's why I'm free to do these videos. This is an avenue that I can tell you, if you listen to my Rose Intuitive messages, that if this video found you, then your higher power is like, listen to her words. Whatever happens to you is on you. Last week was all me, my choices. I could stay stagnant, which God showed me what that looks like, or I could move forward. And sometimes he puts people in your life for the period of time that you need them in that particular way, and then they go on to their own way. And sometimes they stay. But you're not in charge. You're not in charge of other people's journey. You thank them. They're only gratitude and love in your heart. And that was not overnight. That would have devastated me 3 years ago, what happened last week. I don't even know if I would still be recovering. But I'm not. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with gratitude. I'm filled with like this pent up, excited about growth mountain. And I know that I'm going to face challenges, but I feel like this first one was tough. But I did it. And I like testifying to the results of them. So I want to thank you for listening to me. This is just a personal blog. This is not scripted. This is completely a real person. Everything I have on my YouTube channel, I will never delete anything, because you'll see that first video of my psychosis when I got arrested. That was my very first video, and all the videos that preceded it. It is a progression of myself, my thoughts, my beliefs, and doing these videos and teaching you is teaching me all the time. It's putting me accountability too. I cannot say these words unless I am actually going through it too. If I need to make sure that I'm living up every single word that I say. My kids 3 years ago, of course, you know, you're your mother, you love her, but the love and respect that I feel now is so genuine from my children, from my husband, because they see me and I see myself now. So I just want to say from my heart to your, I am so happy that you're here. All of my subscribers, I appreciate you. All my ones that fly by and come back and fly by, I appreciate you. All the ones that just came, maybe just for this message, I thank you. But again, anything that happens after this, the only credit, the only one to credit is you. You are everything in this moment. You are the one that's holding the keys to your car. And you're saying, man, I'm going up that first mountain, that healed mountain. I'm going to master that mountain. And I'm not going to worry about what anyone else is doing, because it's up to me. And if people drop off and maybe they come back, you are on your mission. You are doing this life thing and you're winning at it. Much love. Take care. Blessings from the Rose. See you later. Bye.